All these Jokic versus Embiid debates, all this focus on the Nets, Celtics and Sixers, all this airtime for the 11-seeded Lakers. Are y'all really gonna let this Giannis Antetokounmpo season go unnoticed? Well, I'm definitely not. Yeah, I knew Giannis was having a good season, but it was only when I started digging deeper and really looking at his stats that I started saying, hey, this guy's having an MVP caliber season. In fact, he's perhaps having the best season of his career thus far. That's what I'll explore in this video. We'll also be taking a deep dive into his game and what specifically has made him so good this season. Let's compare his stats from his two MVP winning seasons and this season. Let's start with his points. His highest volume scoring season came in 2020, when he averaged 44.2 points per 100. However, that's not too far from his mark this season, which is at 43.7 points per 100 at the time of recording. His 2019 mark is a little way behind those two seasons at 39.3. Building off that, his true shooting is pretty interesting. His best season true shooting wise was his 2019 season, which is kinda expected since that was a lower volume scoring season. Just behind that though is his 2022 season, which when you consider the difference in scoring volume is something. His 2020 season was a little lower than those other two. Defensively, his 2019 season was his best from a steal and block production standpoint. But again, 2022 is not far behind. Are you beginning to see a trend? Finally, we see his on-off stats, and his 2020 season fits in the middle of the three. But there's some context that needs to be applied here, considering the amount of injuries and inconsistencies Giannis had to deal with compared to the regular season juggernauts the Bucks were in those other two seasons. Also, I haven't included assists here because those numbers are scarily similar to each other. Anyway, let's get into the film. He's been immense attacking the paint. He's so physical and strong, but also smart and crafty with his moves and finishes. Being able to finish like this against potentially one of the greatest rim protectors of the modern day is proof of just how inevitable he seems. He glides past guys with his Eurostep. He just cooks big men with the dribble and gets to his spots. Here the Kings have a defensive breakdown, and that allows Giannis to get a runway in his cut to the basket, and that's the one thing you don't want to give him. It may seem like a good idea to try and block the paint against him, but dropping off like that just means you can get up to a higher speed getting to the basket. Trey Lyles learned this the hard way. These fadeaway hooks are also pretty much impossible to contest because of his length. It feels like he can just get to the rim at will sometimes. He turns corners like Lewis Hamilton on a Sunday, although he does get some help from George Hill, who sets a great screen for him. Here he gets past Xavier Tillman and then throws it down at the rim. This time it's Javonte Green left in his dust, and he finishes past Vooch helping at the rim. He's exceptionally efficient as a finisher at the rim, and a big part of this is his ability to get up and finish with dunks like this. He leads the league in points in the restricted area. Unlike other high-level scorers, except Curry, he thrives off the ball and attacks the defense in motion. He's an obvious lob finisher, and that's a great option for the Bucks to go to in the pick and roll. In general, he is unstoppable as a roller in the pick and roll. He averages the 6th most points per roll for guys with more than 100 possessions. This level of a threat rolling is so difficult to stop because you need a guy big enough to contest the shot, but also quick enough to keep up with him. He's not as efficient when the rolls are reversed, but he's still pretty decent. Here he manufactures a bucket by getting away from Rudy Gay before out-muscling Gobert in the paint. His pull-up jumpers from the mid-range have been mightily better this season. He's shooting a bunch more of them, and he's shooting 5.7% better than last season. This is a great counter to his drives, as defenses will often expect that and have more weight going backwards. In this one, he puts a little extra juice in it to get it to go in. He's branched out to these step backs as well. Here Trey Lyles is basically guarding him in a face-up drop, and all that retreating allows him to pull up like this, and when they're going in, he's pretty much unstoppable. Being able to mix up the offense and bring these out early in the shot clock keeps defenses on their toes, and that can be useful in the regular season. As usual, his attacking transition is stellar. He had the most transition possessions in the league and is scoring 1.16 points per possession. Sometimes he'll just get the ball and take it up himself, and there really is nothing you can do to stop that. He's in the top 15 for points per post-up possession. He'll just back guys down to the paint and then float these hook shots over them. This little hop step into a hook shot is a staple of his game. This assist numbers aren't that much better this season, but the quality has definitely gone up. He's taking a real liking to these no-lookers. Here he's looking at Chris Middleton before flinging this to Grayson Allen in the corner. Even here, he's got his eye on the paint, but still finds an open Bobby Portis on the perimeter. Here's one in transition. It's not that he's making high level or more complex reads, but it feels like there's more zip and accuracy in his passes. His gravity as a scorer draws help and double teams, and has learned to find the open man out of these situations. He's a great rim protector. He's like a volleyball player, just springing up and smacking these off the backboard. He's particularly effective from the weak side. Without Lopez for much of the season, he's taken on a primary rim protector role. Here he comes out of nowhere to swat this Kuminga jumper. In this one, he shows his intelligence by reading the fake by John Collins and intercepting this pass. This time it's a pass from Ayton to Crowder, and his long arms allow him to break this up. He's on PJ Tucker here, but cheats inside a little bit to deter Vincent from the rim and then gets in the way of Vincent's pass to the corner. The three-point shooting has remained stagnant since his second MVP season. He's not shooting as many as that season, but his efficiency is still below average, so we're not going to dwell on that too much. Overall, I think it's pretty unfortunate that he won't get proper MVP attention because he's already won 2. Only 8 players in the history of the league have won 3, and a big part of that is convincing the voters that by voting for him, they agree that he should join this extremely exclusive group. Players like Tim Duncan, Shaq, Kobe, KG, and Steph all aren't part of that group. However, I don't think that's a good enough reason to not vote for Giannis this season. I'm also not saying that he should be the MVP. All I am saying is that he should seriously be considered for the award. Well, that was all for this video. If you did enjoy, please put hit that like button, and until next time, it has been your boy, Zachary McAllister. Have a good day.